Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' a Country. I am really curious about this one. You saw the title, Johnny Cash's song, Casey Jones. Now, I know the Grateful Dead's version of this. I might have even reacted to it on the channel. But MontauKEd made a gift to the channel for me to do this one. So, Ed, thank you for this. I'm up here in Jersey. Ed's in North Carolina, but for the first number of decades of Ed's life, I'm going to say ballpark of 7 decades, Ed was in Montauk, Long Island, which is the easternmost part of Long Island, and it is gorgeous out there. And it's surrounded by the ocean, just plain and simple. The world's largest sharks are caught off of Montauk Point, for instance. And Ed used to be a fisherman, among other things, a master woodworker and all this other stuff. Well, anyway, here in Jersey, it's very rainy and windy, and I'm right on the water here, part of the bay, Barnegat Bay, on the Jersey Shore. It's windy, and man, the bay isn't white cap. Well, the bay probably is white capping. Where I'm at right now, you can't get a run up like that, but it's pushing. So I'm loving it, and I can see out my window what's going on. Maybe one day I'll do a live cast or something and show you the water or whatever. It's not that exciting, but we've all seen water. But Casey Jones, let's find out what Casey's doing. Oh, I didn't see that banjo coming in like that.
Come all you rounders if you want to hear the story about a brave engineer. Casey Jones was the roller's name. On a 6-8 wheeler, boys, he rode to fame. Caller called Casey about 4:30. He kissed his wife at the station door. He climbed in the cabin with his orders in his hand. Said, "This is my trip to the promised land." Casey Jones climbed in the cabin. Casey Jones, orders in his hand. Casey Jones, leaning out the window, making a trip to the promised land.
This is so different than the Dead's version.
Through South Memphis, yards on the fly, rain been a-falling and the water was high. Everybody knew by the engine's moan that the man at the throttle was Casey Jones.
Watch your speed.
Well, Jones said, "Fireman, don't you fret." Sim Webb said, "I ain't a-giving up yet." We're 8 hours late with the southbound mail. Be on time or we're leaving the rails. Casey Jones climbed in the cabin. Casey Jones, orders in his hand. Casey Jones, leaning out the window, taking a trip to the promised land. Dead on the rail was a passenger train. Blood was a-boiling in Casey's brain. Casey said, "Hey, look out ahead, Sam, jump, Sam, jump." Oh, he did. Well, a hand on a whistle and a hand on a brake. North Mississippi was wide awake. I see railroad officials said he's a good engineer to be a-laying dead. Casey Jones climbed in the cabin. Casey Jones, orders in his hand. Casey Jones, leaning out the window, taking a trip to the promised land. Headaches and heartaches and all kind of pain are all a part of a railroad train. Sweat and toil, the good and the grand, are part of the life of a railroad man. Casey Jones climbed in the cabin. Casey Jones, orders in his hand. Casey Jones, leaning out the window, taking a trip to the promised land.
Johnny sure did live that Man in Black thing. He sang about the downtrodden. He sang about the unheralded. I mean, writing a song, I don't know if Johnny wrote this, but about a train engineer, Casey Jones. Now, Casey Jones is famous in lore, not just as the Boston Celtics former head coach when Larry Bird was there, and McHale and the Chief and Dennis Johnson and all these guys. They're a very different person. But I'm marrying in my brain the story that the Dead put together of Casey Jones, where it's like, Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. And then they said he was high on cocaine and stuff. And I thought Johnny could do the same song because he's got the cocaine blue, song that Johnny did. He wasn't afraid to talk about these things and bring them up in songs. Very different song, but similar theme where Casey Jones was going too fast. And the promised land was not his destination. He was 8 hours late when he got the orders in his hand. The train was, I guess it was delivering mail. And what did he do? Did he run into that passenger train? Is that what that was? There was a passenger train on the tracks? Is that how he made it to the promised land? Because he was killed. Casey Jones was killed. And the town there was, what was it? It was really quiet, but then they were awakened. And, then you had the engineer lying dead on the tracks. That would have been Casey. And this is how I heard the whole song as I'm putting the story together. I mean, the story moved quickly, which makes sense because Casey was moving quickly. And so there was a consistency there, an internal consistency in the song. But I was wrapping my head around because for decades, the only rendition of a song by this title that I knew was The Grateful Dead. And I like that song. It's one of these things in music where you can actually be happy and feel good, and something horrible happens in the song, though, and you're like, how am I feeling good when horrible happens? But I guess it's the willful suspension of disbelief. Ed, yeah, you kind of got me going on this one, too. I'm just envisioning somebody getting orders to get on the train and get going. Like, oh, okay, is that the way it works? I envision, because I'm in Jersey and I think of mass transit, these folks have set schedules. They're in the union and all this. Back then, it wouldn't have been unionized, I suppose. So it would have been, your work schedule and demands would have been handled differently and structured differently. Here we have like New Jersey Transit that takes you into Penn Station and in New York, and Amtrak and the LI. Well, you would know the LIRR, Ed, probably. I imagine you'd been on it before. I've been on it. I used to take it out to Amagansett. That's how far out I would go, which is like a couple towns over from where Ed lived. But yeah, I would go out there and visit my sister who had a shore house with her Wall Street buddies. They would rent it for the summer, and I'd go out there a couple times a summer just to hang out for the weekend. Yeah, so what do I even rate this song? Man, the number that popped into my head immediately was an 8.8. Not quite a MontauKEd special, but the intrigue was on the storytelling. I don't know who wrote it. I don't do much research at all because it's a reaction channel, not a research channel. And God forbid I get involved in research because I take things to the billionth degree. I would never sleep. But fascinating storytelling. I mean, what would you just call this? Would you call this sort of Americana? Because it's not quite folk. It's certainly elements of country, no doubt about that. But it's really a story. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you can leave that in the comments. Ed, thank you for this gift, my friend. Your breadth and wealth of knowledge of country music and awareness of what exists out there astounds me. So thank you for that. All right, guys. Have a great day. See you on another video. Watch your speed and keep rocking the country.